Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. This is It Takes Two with myself, Bilal Hugh, and my co-host, Sister Ruby Sowah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, sister. How you doing? You okay?
Alhamdulillah, thank you.
Good. And this week we're joined by Sheikh Ahmed Haneef. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Alhamdulillah. Let's jump into the first letter and make the most best use of time. Quite a long letter, and it's regarding a sister and ex-husband and children. It reads, "Dear It Takes Two, I've been divorced for a number of years now, and I am happy to say that I am remarried and in a good relationship. My issue is my ex-husband is well known in the community and very wealthy, which sways people's minds. I have 3 children who, at the time of the divorce, I believe that Islamically and materialistic would be better off with their father. I didn't want to disrupt their lives at all. I wanted to avoid any animosity, so I trusted my ex-husband that he would allow me to have access to the children. There was no custody agreement legally. My main problem is my older 2 children are very distant from me, and my ex does not encourage them to see me or interact with me. I try to see them and contact them, but my ex says that I am harassing them and that they are teenagers and have the right to decide if they want to see me. I feel that he has poisoned their minds against me. My youngest child, who I feel likes me, is stuck in the middle and feels like he is betraying his other 2 siblings. I have done nothing wrong and made so many sacrifices for my current marriage to be available for my children. Should they ever need me, no one wants to get involved, and I feel I have lost my kids and don't know what to do. I have been begging Allah for help and praying every day, but nothing has happened." And this is from I'm desperate in London. Very desperate situation. The link of a mother to her children. It must have been very difficult for the sister to give up her children, or say give them up, give up custody to the father. But it seems that there was nothing legal, so she's in a bit of a quagmire.
She is, but she has a God too. This is one of the things that a lot of women have difficulty with when it comes to divorce and people sticking to their word and people doing the right thing. Islamically, you're always told that the children should be with the father for whatever reason. I do understand the hikmah behind it, but sometimes there's situations where that actually isn't the best decision for whatever that may be. I feel that it's heartbreaking for the sister, and what I would advise her to do is, she basically went out there in blind faith, trusting that the ex would keep his side of the bargain.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that she mentioned that her ex is quite wealthy and well known in the community speaks to me that because of his wealth and who he is, he has some type of influence in the community. So people may not approach him because they see him on the surface as being this person, this image, and he must be doing well and doing the right thing, this whole, he's striving with his kids, but they don't know what's going on. And even if they did, how would they approach it? And this is a problem that we have in the community, because a lot of the times it's very hard to get someone to come and talk to you, especially if someone's going to be on the receiving end or trying to change your mind, trying to get them to change your mind, because a lot of the time people don't want to get their hands dirty or to say, look, sit down, and you can't mediate. It's quite, and because he's known in the community, people don't want to be bothered, basically. They don't want to get their hands dirty. So she's in a very difficult position, but I really commend her for the sacrifice she did for her children.
But it doesn't sound as if he's directly stopping her from having access to her children. It's more, it sounds as if he won't encourage, that their attitude, at least the older two's attitude towards her is pretty ambivalent or negative.
As a parent,
and he won't encourage them.
It is your job, no matter if you don't get on with the ex or whatever the situation is. Children need both parents, and if they're there as their parent, it is your job, no matter what you feel about the ex, to encourage a relationship with the children. As the parent, it is your job to make sure that I think on birthdays, on Eids, whatever major event, that you make sure the child, one, sees their parent, or at least sends a card or a gift. That is a minimum you can do for the other person to feel acknowledged and involved in the person's life. As parents, from the minute that child's born, that is your responsibility, regardless of age. You have 24-year-olds that forget, to step up. As the parent, it is your job to go above and beyond the call of duty. And I think it's very convenient for him, probably in the age that we're in, that if he wanted to, he could contact you or WhatsApp you or email you, and don't pressure. He's got exams or she's got exams, or, don't be, too overbearing. But as a mother, that is your child, and you want to have some type of connection. She's not asking for anything else that I can get from the letter other than having access, and you should facilitate that, even if that means I'll drop the children to you. They might be there with long faces for an hour, but they're going to have ice cream with their mom for an hour. That's your job. It's not just about throwing money, giving them the best education, the best clothes, the best gadget. But that's my opinion.
Sheikh, do they need mediation? Because I'm reading in between the lines. I'm reading into it that the fact that he won't encourage them, and sounds like an air of indifference about it on his part, that maybe there's some glee or some carrying some baggage from the divorce. So sometimes it does spill over into two people who are married. They were once an item and they're no longer an item, but there's ill will or bad feelings. So it spills over into how are they going to parent these children now who are not living with both of them under the same roof, and they're now separated. Do they need mediation or some kind of conversation, some type of truce or something? Because it seems if he didn't have an angst, he would be naturally wanting his children and be encouraging them.
I think you're kind. I think you're being very kind to this man.
Okay.
Right? I think this man, look, children don't just one day wake up and hate or dislike or be indifferent to their mother.
Yeah.
Right? It has to come from somewhere. Okay? And then when he has already sown the seeds, right, of that, negative attitude towards their mother. Okay, now he's saying, why force the children to come to you? Why pressure them to come to you? All right? I think they have that. That's one aspect. The other aspect is, again, what Sister Ruby had said, right, that even if you are separate, okay, you as a parent with those children, okay, should try your best to maintain a proper relationship between those children and their parents.
Yes.
And their parent, unless the parent is some kind of super delinquent or criminal or something like that, which doesn't seem
risk factor. It
doesn't seem to be the issue here, right? This is your responsibility, okay? And so he's doing something wrong. With respect to mediation, I don't know so much about mediation, I think that could work, but I think on the level of, for example, if this man is known in the community, right, it means that he's active in the community as well.
That's which sounds relevant.
Right, and she's looking for a solution. I think she should go to the head of, or the sheikh of the center that this man goes to, and present her case to that person, in the presence or outside of the presence of that husband, and to get the society itself, from the point of view of that sheikh, to pressure him, you see, to be able to be a better father.
You say better father?
A better father, in the sense that as a father, you should be interested in maintaining those children's relationship with their mother.
Family ties, you cannot
okay?
sever family
As he's
ties.
Exactly, he's breaking family ties.
And
And there's something vengeful about this man, from what I hear from this woman.
I just feel that just as you would ask your child, have you finished your homework? Have you tidied your room? Have you, done whatever this week? Why would you not ask, have you contacted your mum? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
What, have you text? Oh, no, you haven't? Okay, let's send a text now. Let's do a 5-minute call. We're in the age of Skype and FaceTime, for goodness sake. Have you done it? Yes, I have. Okay, let me see your phone. Let me see the evidence that you've done that. Why can you not do that? I mean...
It sounds like the desire is not there for a reason.
But even if the child, I don't care how old they are, that is always going to be your child, and you should be leading them by example to do the right thing. Even if the child didn't like the mum for whatever reason, they're still the child of that person. There is no reason why they can't call or say happy Eid or spend 5 minutes. And if the man doesn't feel that it's important to facilitate that type of relationship, or God forbid he gets older and the child decides that I don't have anything to do with you actually, then what's going to happen? I think it's a responsibility of the community, because I'm sure the sister has friends, and I'm sure there are some people who know her plight that should really make an effort to put pressure on this brother.
Yeah.
Not to chastise him, but even meet in a neutral place for half an hour, let them talk. If they want to have an argument, let them argue, but she needs to see her children. She said she made sacrifices in her marriage, you know, so that she could be readily available. And I feel this man's completely manipulated the situation. And if that doesn't work, I'm sorry, but I would go the legal route. I really would. I don't know how old the teenagers are, but you can ask for some kind of visitation, even if it's supervised, or I don't know how old the children are. I don't know if they're like what they are in their
young teens, old teens. We don't know.
But it's really just heartbreaking, because it sounds like she's done everything by the book, and this man has.
I think there's one thing she hasn't done by the book, right? And I think this is something that is very important for people who are getting married, right, and people who are married. Okay. Because you see so often men, especially, because they do have an advantage in a relationship with their wives, right? Men especially.
What's the advantage?
Well, for one thing, men are the ones who have the sole right of divorcing a wife, right? And it doesn't have to be some reasoned argument for divorce, right? Men have an arbitrary right.
Grounds.
Men have an arbitrary right to divorce their wives. Okay, that's one thing, all right? Men are, the children go to the husband, okay, right? I think after 7 years old, okay? Wow. Okay? So you have these types of things. Men are responsible for the maintenance of their wives, especially wives who, for example, might have given up careers and so on for their husbands.
Ex-wives?
For the ex-wives, yeah. Well, I mean, wives. You know what I mean?
Alimony.
There's for wives and their ex-wives.
Alimony.
Yeah, alimony. You know, like for example, in rich e-divorces. Okay, rich e-divorces.
Yeah.
Right.
Islamically?
Yeah, you know, rich e-divorce. Yes, when a woman, for example, the first divorce that you pronounce on a woman. Okay, you know, you have to have 3.
Yes.
All right. So the first one, all right, you still have to maintain her. Okay. So you have these advantages. And you have low quality personality type men who would use these advantages to oppress a woman. Okay? So one of the things, for example, we do at the Islamic Center of England is that we would not conduct a marriage unless the man gives the wife the wikala, or the power of attorney, to divorce herself on his behalf if she doesn't like what's going on in the marriage. Okay?
Yeah.
The other thing I think women should be careful about, because she mentioned something in her report that she didn't want to create animosity, and in that area, she did not make a custody claim.
She didn't contest. She stepped aside.
Yes, assuming that the man is going to be just, and he's not. Okay, and I think that women should keep in mind, okay, that men could be vengeful. You know, and oppressive, okay, and they could use that against them. So that if you're going to be in a custody battle, if you're going to be divorcing, okay, you had better secure your custody rights, you see, and not to sort of like put it aside because you don't want to avoid animosity and you're doing in good faith and so on. Because what you are dealing with, I am sorry to say, is a potential enemy.
Wow.
After you're divorced.
Well, divorce is not always amicable, you know, it's not always some contention there. That's right. There's a reason why you're divorcing.
You know, you're dealing with a potential enemy.
It's just people mismanaging oftentimes their feelings, right?
Yes. So you have to be careful about that. Okay, that when a woman when she's getting married, okay, be cognizant of your interests. All right, because that man might not be a saint. He might be a saint today. You don't have any guarantee of what he might be tomorrow. Okay, and when you're divorcing, be also cognizant of your rights. Okay, because that man could use those rights that you did not exercise against you.
Because that happens in secular society, because the rights is the other way around almost, in terms of automatic rights of the mother and access, and fathers end up having to climb on top of buildings and in Spider-Man suits just to see their children, because partners can, ex-partners can use the children. The children are oftentimes used as fodder, as you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is definitely true. It's not just the men who do that, but I think, as I said before, when women get married, it is such a gamble on so many levels, because you have children, and God forbid you should get divorced. Now you need to think about, well, what's going to happen to my relationship with the child? And it's really hard. I mean, there's so many situations where they keep telling you, well, the male has to have the child, but you're thinking, I can't even trust this man with a brown paper bag, let alone my child, because okay, he has my child, but what's my child gonna grow up to be? What kind of relationship I'm gonna have? And it's such a gamble, because I think it's so much easier for males to pick up their lives, even with children, for them to move on. And if you're a woman who's, say, been married for 5 years and, you've had a career gap, or...
What does pick up mean? You mean like pick somebody else up? Does it mean
continue
a new partner?
Continue life. No, continue life. Like with, it doesn't necessarily affect your career. It might not affect you in a big financial way. It might not affect you with the community or who your friends are. Because, a lot of the time when you divorce, it affects the whole community and your friends and how people see you and stuff. So it's such a big gamble for women, and it just breaks my heart that this woman, honestly, Allah knows best, has really tried to do things on the merit of good faith for the pleasure of Allah and her children, when she could have got a lot more. She hasn't said that I got any money from it or whatever. Alhamdulillah, she's remarried and happy, but she's basically given up everything for the good of her children.
Alhamdulillah, she's happily married, but in pain about this situation. Shay, if you were speaking to the ex-husband, what would you say to him directly, or somebody, should I say, who you knew perpetrated?
I would tell him first and foremost that it is a great sin to break family ties.
Even if he doesn't think he is, he could say, well, I'm not doing anything, they're grown, I don't need to tell a teenager or a 20-year-old to do
but you
something.
see, you could be a participant in a crime by non-action.
Crime of omission.
Right, you know what I mean? I see somebody planning a robbery and I don't say anything, right? I am part of that robbery because I have a right to say something. I have a right to call the police, a duty to call the police and so on. That makes me an accessory, okay? In this case, this man has had a relationship with this woman. This woman is the mother of these children, okay? And he is not encouraging them to come together, okay? And it is based upon what he has put in their minds.
Yeah, because this happens.
All right, so this man is destroying Silerahim, okay? Family ties, okay? And this is something that is a moral sin in Islam. And here's the most fundamental thing that can be said to this man.
Also, if you, by not saying it or not bringing it up or pretending that nothing's happened, children are children no matter what age they are. They have so many distractions. They may not want to be in touch with, their parent for whatever reason. They may feel guilty that mum's going to give me a hard time. She's going to say, how could you do this to me? But you always, as parents, have to be consistent for your children. Even if they're adults, you need to be, because they didn't ask to be here, you have to be their role model, whatever age they are. And they need to see that consistency, because God forbid, things can change. He could be on the receiving end. And I think the fact that there's no mercy in this relationship. I am sure she has gone and pleaded, because she sounds pretty desperate.
She's a mum, she's going to be in pain. Of course.
And it sounds like she's not one to cause trouble. The fact that she didn't even have a legal document, I'm not calling her silly or anything, but she's gone in there with blind faith, and he doesn't see that. I just don't know what to say. I don't even know how people's prayers are answered when they have as little compassion. Because at the end of the day, she is now his sister in Islam. Why would you not have that kind of mercy and compassion? Someone who's given you children. It really upsets me. And the same goes for women too. Women can play games too as well.
It's a dangerous game because the children become damaged.
People can use children. People can use children as part of their vendettas and their vengeance
and most of the time it's gone because
parent.
they're hurt, or it's a power struggle to show that, look, I have done better than you, or I'm really hurt that I'm going to make you suffer through the child. And who lives these out? The child does at the end of the day. He's never going to get that time back, or she's never going to get that time back with the mum. And as teenagers, you need your parents more than when you do when you're younger. It's just they need you in different ways. They don't need you to feed and dress them, but they need you to be present for when
And you know what's so dangerous about situations like this is that, you know, oftentimes children's minds can be influenced negatively without anything overtly said. So it can just be in body language or just implicit, or if the mother calls and the dad reacts in a certain way, or, you know, gestures. So he hasn't overtly said anything negative, but, you know, just like by a drip way, he can still affect the children's attitude towards the mother. And then in his own mind, because of the shaitan, it's as if, no, he can delude himself. I didn't say anything. I've never said anything bad about her. Not overtly, but
if the child wants,
exactly, children
because
pick up
you haven't
on
taken
things.
the initiative, the first step to say, you're going to do this, like it or not, 10 minutes of your time. And a lot of the time, you know, teenagers, they don't think about anything but the here or now, or the after effects. So if it's uncomfortable, I'm not going to do it. I don't have to. I have rights. Why are you bothering me? And it's like, you're the parent. You can at least say once a week, have you called your mum? Okay, let me see the evidence. If not, here's the phone. What does he have to lose? He's got the physical custody of the children. I mean, I just think it's so cruel. It's almost like emotional abuse.
It sounds a bit vindictive. Yeah, it sounds a little bit vindictive. I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but I just wanted to have a closing comment from yourself, and also some closing words from yourself. Yeah.
What comes to mind is that we do all these ritualistic things, such as doing salah, doing zakat, fasting, and the main important thing is we've forgotten the adab and respect and the duty of care we have for each other, whether you're exes, family members that you don't get on with, neighbours or whatever. Everyone has rights over you. And don't think that one day that you may be in control, tomorrow it's going to remain the same way. I think really if we call ourselves Muslims, we have to make sure that people's rights are lived by. And as a father, it is your job, especially if they're sons or daughters, you have to set an example to your daughter of how men should be. And as a son, you need to set an example as a father of how men should be also. So I think, you know, give it to Allah and just humble yourself. She's begging for her, to you to help her be a parent to her children. She's not asking for anything else. So I pray you get to the stage where these words touch you.
Inshallah. I really hope that the sister can, you know, find a way to get the brother to sit down and have mediation. But as you said before, to at least approach people who know him, who can start to try and influence the situation, and for her to just try and stay patient and stay steadfast, because Allah will, you know, he's the one that makes good things happen in our life, but we have to be patient. And to the brother, I just, you know, or anybody else in this situation who knows, if it's a sister that's, you know, preventing or negatively influencing, you know, ex-husband from seeing their children, you know, I pray that they fear Allah, because this is as the Sheikh says, it's not good. This severing of the blood tie and it's malice is not coming from a good place, and it can never end good. It can only end up damaging the children as well. But just wanted to get some final reflections from yourself as well, Sheikh.
The sister was looking for solutions. I think one avenue to explore is the leadership in the community in the Islamic community that he is associated with. The sheikh who is in charge of the center or mosque that he attends, for the wife to speak to that person, that they can act as a mediator, you know, to get him to soften up and to encourage relationships between his children and their mother. And barring that, if that does not work, as Sister Ruby had mentioned, she should start thinking about seeking legal advice as to taking him to court in order to secure her rights with her children.
I would just say one last point, just continue with your prayers, because your prayers are the only comfort. Me talking about it, your friends, family, relatives, we can only provide you with temporary solutions, but Allah's there all the time and He is with you.
Take it to Allah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. I mean, thank you so much, Sister Ruby, for your words, and Sheikh as well for your words too. And thank you all for staying with us for the duration of It Takes Two, and hope to see you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
If you have any questions or queries that you would like to send to It Takes Two, please email us at ittakes2@safirtv.com.